We know that the future of rugby lies in creating the right development structures and introducing the game to as many people as possible. To talk to us about this morning, we've roped in two individuals who have recently done something like this with a program called Get Into Rugby. We are now joined live on Zoom by Gavin Smith as well as Angelique Jordaan. Good morning, Gavin. Good morning, Angelique. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Good morning.
Angelique, let me start with you. Just for our viewers at home, if you can give us a quick summary of what Get Into Rugby is all about, and also perhaps speak to us about the reasons behind the inclusivity, because we know you cater for both boys and girls.
Get Into Rugby is an initiative that World Rugby started once rugby became an Olympic sport. The idea was to try and grow the game in parts of the world where rugby wasn't played. So World Rugby went to the top tier nations and basically took a little bit of everything from them and built this curriculum. And within Get Into Rugby, you have the try phase, the play phase, and the stay phase. Try phase is basically just that: try rugby, try, throw the ball around. It's not very geared, that phase is not very geared towards, learning the rules of the game. It's more just basic skills and a combination of boys and girls playing together. So once you move out of the try phase into the play phase, things become a bit more formal, where you take the skills that you've learned and you start playing a sevens format. And then the idea is for you to try and stay in the game, either as a spectator or as somebody within the workforce, a referee, or to become an actual player.
Very, very interesting. Now, Gavin, let me bring you into the discussion. As a commercial partner of Get Into Rugby, what was it about Get Into Rugby that attracted you to it?
Look, Engen as a company is very honoured to be involved with Get Into Rugby. As Angelique said, it's a grassroots development initiative. It reaches across all 9 provinces in South Africa. It gets kids involved in one of South Africa's big 3 sports, a sport that is based on values such as integrity, teamwork, and performing at one's highest level. And these align with a company like Engen. So for us to be involved, in an initiative that may unearth some of our country's next big stars, for us it was a no-brainer. We're very humbled to play a small role in developing young kids.
Gavin, I'm going to come back to you a little bit later on that one, just in terms of grooming probably our future rugby stars. But Angelique, talk to us about what actually happens on the day. What does the day look like in terms of participation, and how do you select the schools or the athletes that are then invited to get involved in Get Into Rugby? How does that process look?
So in 2015, we rolled out to all 15 provincial rugby unions in South Africa. And the onus is on the rugby unions to try and focus on the non-traditional rugby playing schools when they choose their schools. Thereafter, we have our participants participate in a 10-week curriculum, which happens during the life orientation period at school. And from these group of children, we then select players who participate in our festivals. In our girls-only program, we have introduced a 15-week program for these participants. And from this, there's a talent identification section. And these girls go on to play matches, and they then enter the SARU youth training centres.
All right. I think that also just enlightens us a little bit more. Gavin, let me come back to you on what you touched on earlier in terms of just possibly being involved in grooming and finding the future stars of South African rugby. From your point of view, are you then looking to be more involved from a holistic point of view in the development of these players? Because we've seen, similarly with what KFC Mini Cricket has done, it's unearthed the likes of your Themba Bavuma, your Riza Hendricks. Is that also what you're looking to do?
Yes, that's part of it. While unearthing, the stars of tomorrow, the next Damian Willemse or Makazole Mapimpi, or he's 1 in a billion, but the next Siya Kolisi is part of it. But it's also about getting children pursuing a healthy lifestyle, getting out in the open, getting a bit of sunlight, getting a bit of oxygen in their lungs, and playing a game and staying in a game that we hope can play all their lives. So part of it is about the stars of tomorrow, but also a very, very big part is just the healthy aspect that playing sport and playing a sport, a fantastic sport such as rugby, can bring to one's life.
Indeed. Now, Angelique, we know that for this year you've now concluded in terms of Get Into Rugby. Talk to us about your biggest learning points having gone through the experience of Get Into Rugby for the 2023 year and your biggest takeaways.
Well, we've been on this program for 10 years now, and the growth that we've seen in the love of the game at a grassroots level just increases every single year. But 2023 is definitely the cherry on the top with us being the defending world champions. It's just the excitement that this program garners in the most obscure places in the corners of South Africa it's wonderful to see.
That's amazing, and we commend you for the work that you do, Angelique. Now, as we begin to wrap up, Gavin, I'm going to put you on the spot. Angelique has touched on the Springboks being the defending champions. Let's talk about Saturday's match, which will be live on SABC2, between the Springboks and the #1 ranked team in the world, Ireland. How are you seeing that game pan out?
Well, I think it's going to be an incredible game of rugby, an incredible celebration of rugby. But I have no doubt that the Boks will win. We have green blood in our veins, every one of us as South Africans, and I have no doubt that come Saturday, we're going to be too strong for the Irish.
And on your side, Angelique?
I'm a nervous rugby watcher on a good day. So no, green and gold all the way. I'm hoping that we can pull it off, and I'm sure that we can. So good luck to Rassie and the boys on that side.
All right, thank you so much, Angelique and Gavin. Thank you for the work that you're doing out at Get Into Rugby, and we look forward to what next year holds.
Thank you very much.